So today we're going to go over grappling, mainly judo throws that I learned while training in Hapkido. At Blue Belt in Kuksul, we learned 10 judo throws, and I've also experimented with my own variations from looking at the throws on YouTube and applying it in sparring. So the first one we went over last week is Harai Goshi. I get an underhook, grab the tricep, I go up pretty high, and then I can grab the lat with my other hand, and then I get the lip. So I go slow underhook, he just wraps around, go here, here, fa. What's really good when you're teaching, when you're training, is you teach a technique, and then after we build on the technique with counters to that technique, then you stack on top, counter to the counter. So this is what we're doing here, this is what we're playing with. So I go for my hip throw, I get my underhook, I grab, but as I start to get my hip in, he puts his hand on my lower back. And if I literally just try to really throw him, he can just place his hand there. Slightly lower is probably the perfect spot, yeah, right there. You're basically putting the hand on the hip. So I'm struggling here. So since I'm doing the variation where I have the underhook, what I can do, even though he's pressing hard, press hard, what I can do is I can still step my foot out. I just can't throw him. So if we're facing this way, face behind me a little bit, yeah. I push really hard, yeah. I can't throw him, but I can step my foot out just because of the physics of it. So because of that, I can start to go for this arcing technique. I don't know the name of it in Hapkido. It might not even have a name, but I learned this in a lot of Hapkido sets. So as I go for the lock, he puts his hand on my hips. My foot goes back. I lift up. From here, I found that in sparring, it was pretty difficult just to keep my hand here and step back and go for the takedown. Let's move up a little bit. So instead, what I did was I got a grip with my other hand. And when I get that grip, I'm gonna step in with my knee kind of on his hamstring and then step backwards. So I go here and then I step backwards and then I can flatten him out here. I go for it, I can't get it, but I can snip my hand, get this for reinforcement, and then go here, flatten him out. And then from here, I could actually lock him with the Kimura lock. Some details when it comes to this underhook technique. So if I go straight to this underhook, if he stands super straight up, he's taller than me. So I can't get that leverage. It's hard because I have to do an arcing motion to really get him over. So if you're taller than your opponent in this situation, it's easier to get that big circle and get him down. The other thing is, it may look like it, but once I have him down here, I'm not just pressing on him to try to bring him down to the ground. I'm doing a big motion that comes from Aikido, Hapkido, where I'm doing some footwork of stepping forward and behind, and I'm also moving in a circular motion, which causes him to flatten out. And then I maintain the grip on the arm. So an excellent way to resist this lock, this throw essentially, is to almost treat it like you're headlocking the guy's underhook. So if I'm here and I go for the underhook, he's gonna treat it like he's doing a rear naked choke on me. Yeah, and then he just straightens my arm up. So like hips up, almost like that. From here, if he squeezes, I would have to be significantly stronger than him. I'm already quite a bit stronger than him, but not significantly. So I can't do it. And when you're meeting this type of resistance and the technique you're going for just isn't gonna work, you have to change your game plan. So in this instance, what I do to change my game plan is he's holding up, is I use my left hand almost like I'm chopping, sliding across his neck, and then I go under, and then I go for a guillotine choke. So the way that sequence of events would occur is I'm here, I go for my initial throw, he stops me, then I use my foot, I step back, I start to go for this, but then he gets me in this lock. So now I can't really do anything, but I can wrap my head around and then go for the guillotine choke. And when you train like this, it's excellent because we will work first variation, second variation, third, and you can keep stacking on. You know, if he resists the choke, we can add on another grappling technique from there. So if we start it from the get-go, we'll go through all 4 variations really quick. So I'm here, first variation, I just do the throw, go underhook, and I throw. Second variation, he stops me from executing the throw. He stops me from executing the throw, so I get up here, step back, and I get him in for the lock. Third variation, I go for the throw, he stops me, I go for here, he stops me here, then I get for a guillotine. Those are the 3 variations based on Harai Goshi. My variation of the Harai Goshi, it's not the most common one you will see, but it's the one that I use and I find it's very effective. Even if I have 16-ounce gloves on, I could still get a grip on his tricep and an underhook, which is really important.